Netflix just dropped Sirens, and if you thought this was just another supernatural drama, think again. This series dives deep into mythology, sisterhood, secrets, all with a dark, stylish twist that leaves you in a constant state of wondering who the Siren is. In this review, I'll be diving into the story, breaking down the characters, and getting to the heart of the Siren's true identity and what it really symbolizes. So Sirens is a limited series on Netflix, and it centers Devin, who's concerned about her sister Simone's unhealthy relationship with her boss. So she travels all the way to the island her sister works on to try to intervene. Simone is a live-in assistant to Michaela Kell, aka Kiki. This show definitely was intriguing and pulled you in, but it's not a show that appeals to all audiences. You either hate it or you love it. It's definitely a slow burn, has a similar feel to White Lotus, and there's an underlying tension you feel throughout the entire series that's just simmering. So as a viewer, you expect it to lead to a big explosive reveal or a big moment. With the way this ended, there was all this build up, and it did lead to a huge turning point and plot twist, but it still felt a little anticlimactic. Now visually, it's stunning. The cinematography was rich. There's like a haunting elegance in how it's shot. They use a lot of tight close-up shots, and it really pulls you into the characters' heads and makes the tension feel personal. There's been a lot of talk about what was the Siren, who represented the Siren. As we all know, the classic Siren story involves women luring men to their deaths. What makes this series so intriguing is that it flips the classic Siren myth on its head, blurring the lines between seduction, danger, femininity, and power. And the whole time, you're left questioning, is the Siren even a woman? Sirens in this series is a metaphor, essentially. You didn't know what elements were real or true, especially in those dreamlike moments. So who was the Siren? Let's break each character down and see who's the culprit. From Michaela's introduction, there was something mystical about her. The opening scene with her interacting with the birds, Michaela is written with such nuance. She's layered, conflicted, emotionally complex. You may not always agree with her, but you understand where she's coming from. For a majority of the story, all signs lead to her being the so-called Siren. What I also loved was there's something melodic about Michaela's tone. It's soft, rhythmic, almost like a siren song. Even when she's just speaking, it feels like she's pulling you in, daring you to listen closer. There's something hauntingly musical about it. It blurs the line between speech and song, adding to the mystique of her character. There was a funny part where Devin was like, Michaela was just naked in her tub singing at me. So she even interpreted her voice as singing, even though she wasn't. What's interesting is after all these signs and things she did, at the end, Michaela looks nothing but ordinary. Let's get into Devin. She also had something about her that just pulled you in. I mean, she had 3 men chasing her on the beach. One man was thinking about leaving his wife for her. Even Simone's love interest said she was magnetic. She had a man that didn't want commitment, on his knees begging her to marry him. Peter, I had high hopes for his character. Seems like just when they were setting Peter up for a redemptive arc, the situation with Simone happened and completely threw me off. Peter seems like the only sane character for majority of the story, and then you find out more about him. The love bombing, divorced twice, both wives were essentially left with the short end of the stick. You decide you want to start a new family, and you dispose of your wife to get with someone younger. Even Jose, I enjoyed his character for the most part. I loved that he didn't get sucked into Simone's trap and honored his wife and kids, but what about him kind of luring in the staff with the group chat he created to talk about Simone? He had his ways too. So after analyzing these characters, it opens up the possibility of the Siren being someone other than a woman. What really confirmed that was the plot twist at the end, unveiling what Peter's character developed into. This moment isn't just a plot twist, it's symbolic. It reframes the entire show. We could stop here and say Peter was a Siren, which is what a lot of people are saying, and it's essentially true, but I challenge you to look beyond that. I think in the context of this series, the twist is the Siren was never just one person. It's a reflection of pain, power, identity shared across all the characters. Each one carries some part of the myth. Seductive, haunted, destructive. Together, they form the full picture. None of the characters are written as purely good or purely bad. They exist in that messy gray area, basically shaped by their trauma, choices, and desires. So you go in trying to figure out who the Siren is, but by the end you realize the better question is what the Siren represents. And the answer is all of them. Each character echoes a different note in the Siren song. Overall, this show has been met with a lot of criticism, with many people calling it pointless, but I have a completely different viewpoint of the series. Of course, there were plot holes and things I didn't like about the series, but when I look at this as a whole, there were also a lot of things I liked and enjoyed. And this is a part of why I want to share these reviews and my thoughts, because I want to inspire people to not write things off so quickly and look at things through a wider scope and see beyond what's in front of you. I really take pride in giving balanced reviews and thoughts. I feel like you can find some beauty or something that you liked within a movie or show, even if overall you disliked it. You watch something and you feel like the story may have been underdeveloped. But what about the cinematography and how it was shot? What about the score, the music used? How did it make you feel? So I want to encourage people to see those things. I hope you enjoy exploring with me today and trying to figure out who the Siren was and what it represented. Let me know some things you liked and didn't like about this series. If you enjoyed this and want to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel, drop a comment and a like. My name is Kamara. Thanks for watching another episode of Screen Diaries. Until next time, bye.